Welcome to another episode of the Spa Business Mastery Podcast. We are on episode 15, and our topic today is how to cut the posting overwhelm for social media. And today we have on Delia Taylor at Spa Marketing with Delia Taylor. She is our marketing director here at Kirsten Foss Coaching and Virtual Spa Business Management. She does all things marketing and keeps us all on track. So over this next year, I'm bringing Delia on to once a month to talk about spa marketing, very specifically spa marketing, because I know that's a big topic for the spa industry. It's constantly talked about in Facebook groups. And Delia, you actually posed a question in Spa Business Mastery group on Facebook about social media.
I did. I asked a question. I was asking for a friend.
Was the friend you or?
Yeah, the friend was me. I was out of curiosity. I wanted to know what the biggest struggles were when it came to, managing your own spa's social media. And so I think we had quite a few responses. I got some good advice as well too. So that was nice. And I guess the biggest piece that came out of that was that it's really overwhelming. And so I think the overwhelm comes from, just not even really knowing what to do. And that just creates that kind of paralysis almost and overwhelm for sure. So a lot of times.
And then it just kind of it's this loop of overwhelm, not really doing anything, overwhelm, not doing anything.
or doing it, but maybe not doing it in a way that's effective, or doing it in a way that's consistent. And I think that's really the key piece is the consistency is what kind of brings it all together and makes social media management work.
Yeah. Absolutely. And so we wanted to, give you a couple of pro tips on our end because we have many social media accounts that we manage for other spas. So if you're needing a marketing system, Delia and I are the people to talk to because we've had to get very serious about our own internal marketing system, the processes in it for our client deliverables. Because if we did not have a marketing system like for social media, it would be an absolute gong show behind the scenes here in terms of working as a team and getting our clients social media posts to them on time, all of that stuff. It would be absolutely impossible. So we want to share with you guys our system that we use because we know for a fact that it cuts posting overwhelm. Now we know you're not a digital marketing agency, but these specific points are very, very usable for any kind of spa business, whether you're a solo or a team. So let's talk about first kind of what does overwhelm look like for most spas when it comes to social media and posting?
Yeah, well, I see a lot of inconsistency with the posts. So I see a lot of sales posts. So I see those going out more so because everybody's trying to sell all the time, and that's what we do. We're in the industry to we're not in the industry to sell, but we're in the industry. We're in a business, and so it's natural to think, okay, I need clients coming in for services. I need clients to purchase the products because I believe in them. I want to make change in their skin, nails, whatever part of the your spa that you're working on. So there's a lot of inconsistency with posting, and so there's not a good amount of different types of posts.
Mm-hmm.
So that inconsistency shows in the results as well too that you're going to get in return, because if you don't have a consistent posting strategy, then you're likely going to lose a lot of your followers' interests if they keep seeing the same types of posts over and over again.
But on that note, it's a very widely known kind of thing that as far as advertising go, even in traditional advertising, that consumers need to see something at least 7 times. They need to see the message at least 7 times before they even register that this is relevant for them. And I think that's makes, as far as spa owners, that's really uncomfortable for them. They get uncomfortable because they think if they've posted once, then that should be enough. And they don't want to, overdo it or come off as being too salesy or too pushy. So kind of our industry kind of has missed that aspect of marketing, that we need consistent messaging over and over and over, but kind of coming at it from slightly different angles.
Exactly. The same message, you're changing it up and you're repurposing it in different ways to be able to get that message across.
So should we dive right into kind of what our 3 points are to help cut the posting overwhelm?
Posting overwhelm. Well, I mean, like you said, Kirsten, we use a strategy in our business. You know, as you say, systems are self-care for spa owners. So regardless of what it is that you're working on, you always have to have a system. And so our system helps us to be able to create compelling content. And so last time when we were on, we touched on it briefly, kind of our little secret sauce of how we post is we post a mixture of educational content. We post a mixture of promotional content. It doesn't mean that you have a sale on, it just means that whatever it is that you can have a sale, but whatever it is that your monthly focus is in the spa, we're promoting those products and services. And then we have a mixture of engagement posts, and those engagement posts really help to start, follower interaction. We've got some social proof in there, a few befores and afters. We've got client testimonials, inspirational quotes, talk like self-care type quotes. And again, all kind of geared around what that focus is for the month. And the other part to that is that we batch them out for the entire month as well too.
So the first point that we wanted to make was as far as tips for spa owners to get out of that posting overwhelm. So our first point is to have a content strategy plan. So right. Like Delia was saying, our content strategy plan includes 12 posts for the month for our clients. And it's broken down into 4 educational posts, 4 promotional posts, and then 4 engagement posts. So you can do that. We do that at the beginning of the month. Delia, at the first of the month, from the 1st to the 5th, you can find Delia in her office, head down, designing our clients' monthly strategies. And that's exactly what she's doing. She's looking at their monthly focus. They have a service focus and a retail focus. And then we build the educational posts, the promotional posts, and the engagement posts around what the client focus is. So we do this on a Google Doc. You don't have to do it on Google Docs if you want to do it on Word doc or your notes. We use it on Google Docs because we've got multiple people working on these accounts. And you literally just write it out like in bullet points. It makes it so much easier rather than, our industry leadership is so used to having everything in their head and not writing it down. So do yourself a favor if you want to cut your posting overwhelm, is open up a Google Doc. If you're going to get ready for March, type in March, type in what your focus is for March, service focus, retail focus, and then just, 4 educational posts, 4 promotional posts, 4 engagement posts. Just keep it simple.
Yeah, and when you're writing out those educational pieces, you can take different parts so you could have an ingredient focus. You could have a behind the scenes team focus, so a team spotlight. And so what you're doing is you're educating your followers, your clients on the ongoings of your spa. You're giving them education and you're positioning yourself as an expert. And so when you start doing those types of educational pieces, you're in a roundabout way selling yourself, because you're putting yourself kind of in that position of being the expert, and goes back to that consistency piece where when your followers start seeing those types of posts regularly, they start, registering that you actually know what you're talking about. They start trusting you. They haven't met you yet, but they start trusting you. And I think we talked about it before where, you have to see a post 7 times at least in order to grab that attention, or even get, a potential client thinking that they might need your services. So that's kind of how we say, you can repurpose your content based on what it is that your monthly focus is. And that helps to build.
Absolutely. All right. Point number 2 to help you cut the overwhelm in your spa marketing is to follow a creative plan or strategy. And this has to do with brand cohesiveness. So let's talk about how spa owners can do that.
Yes. I don't know if any of you have, feed envy. We hear it quite often when we're onboarding our new social media clients. We always ask them, if they have any feed designs that they like, whether it be industry or non-industry related, and kind of find out why. And especially for Instagram is a very visual. It's all images, and yes, there's captions in there, and you see it on a nice grid. So those types of things initially catch somebody's eye if you have a really great
Well,
picture.
yeah, and it's just that kind of overall visual um, that overall visual cohesiveness
Mhm.
tells consumers, hey, it kind of makes them feel like they know what you're doing, you're professional,
Clean,
you're
it's clear,
yeah.
it's
Yeah, and obviously, you know what you're doing. It's not just kind of slip slap together. It just looks really professional, and that ultimately gives consumers way more trust into being able just to kind of feeling safe enough to reach out and like, hey, this looks like a facility I'd like to go to.
especially in the spa industry, because you want it to look, you don't want it to be this messy kind of right, because that registers to a potential client that, oh, maybe that's how the business is organized, or maybe that's the cleanliness of what the business might look like going into it. So not only does a nice feed design aesthetic look, it also helps to keep your on brand. So you're using your brand colors, you're using brand font. So if you're creating, we suggest using Canva. It's a super easy tool to be able to use to create image quotes, those types of things. You've got inspirational quotes or funny quotes,
They've got
client testimonials.
so many templates that you can go
Exactly.
straight with your own branding and that kind of
Yeah.
thing.
And so you can put in there your own colors, your own branded colors, your own fonts, and that keeps that consistent as well too. So
I think that if I think that's only with a Canva Pro account that you can upload your brand colors, like they're called hex codes. But honestly, like pro tip from us, a pro Canva account, I believe, is like $129 a year, and it's worth it. It's very much worth it. You get extra features in terms of being able to create your visual content in there. So we definitely recommend that's an investment that is it's a good one.
and they also let you pay monthly as well too. So I think it's $15, $16. So if that makes it easier. So what we do in our agency is for our clients, and we filter through them, but we create about 6 templates in Canva, and we call them image quotes. So you can have any variation of them. It depends on what your brand is like. For us, typically we just, a background color, whether it be white or whether it be in the brand color. And then we have an inspirational quote or a funny quote on there, or a client testimonial, that type of thing. So we create about 6 different types of images in Canva, and we'll use them for about 2 or 3 months. And
We just use them as templates. So every month we're
templates.
swapping out what's actually in that.
It's in, yes. So you don't want to have the same image quote going out every single month saying saying the same thing. But what you can do with that is you're still using the design of that template, and then you're changing up what you're saying. You can switch out the colors of them as well too. And then you start adding them into your feed. You don't add all of them all at once, but you a couple each month start using, and you'll have about 2 or 3 months worth of quotes in there. So that also helps to
So when when we do that with our client feeds, it gives some nice spaciousness in the feed, opens it up. And quite frankly, image quotes typically perform really, really well.
you do. And those would be types of engagement posts, and that's what we would consider engagement.
Awesome. All right, number 3 to help our spa owners to cut their posting overwhelm. And that is to batch your content creation using scheduling software. So it is a total lifesaver. If we did not use a scheduling platform to do this, we would be pulling our hair out. And we'd be wasting so much time, and we wouldn't actually be able to. I think our fees would be so much higher because of the time wasted, and it would be just crazy making as well. So we specifically use the platform Later, and we've been using it for, I guess, like 2.5 years now. It's been amazing. Very, very rarely do we have technical glitches with it. It's an approved platform by Instagram, so you're not being penalized if you post through later.com. But maybe Delia, take the reins here and kind of share a little bit about why, posting, like why creating content on a scheduling platform really helps spa owners just be able, well, that helps them to be able to kind of set it and in a way forget it for the rest of the month.
Exactly. Yeah, you can't completely forget it because you need to be aware that it's there and you want to make sure that everything's firing off properly. But what it does is it allows you to create your gallery as well. So you've got your point number one was create a content plan. So you've taken your 12 posts and now you want to create posts about them. You've created you've gathered your images. And what you do is you upload all those images into Later and you actually drag and drop. It's very easy. You drag and drop into the scheduling planner.
But the really nice thing about Later, and Planoly does this as well, and I think, what's the other one? It starts with a U. I can't remember what it is. But basically you have different ways you can see your content. One of the part that we really like and we use a lot to create a really pretty spa feed is the preview. And so what Delia is talking about is you can drag the images into this preview visual so that we can move posts around and make sure the feed looks nice and balanced, that there's not too many faces, that there's not too much color bunched up in certain areas.
Yeah, it allows us to be able to design that feed so that we get those nice branded feed looking pretty, again, like you just said. So oftentimes you might see too many things bunched all together if you kind of go through other feed, or even if you look at your own, you might see, like 5 faces all put together. But when you're in Later or any other platform that offers that, you can actually, like Kirsten just said, move all those pictures around so you can place them where it looks visually good. You write all your captions in each of the image. You set your date and time that you want it scheduled for. There's an option to have it auto post. You can manually post as well, but use the auto post because it's there and it will post those posts for you.
And it sends you a notification to your phone that it's, if you've got it on auto post, it sends notification. A post has just been scheduled on Kirsten_Foss. And so, yeah, you definitely know when things are being posted when it's on auto post. And you always do want to check to make sure it posted properly, because very, very rarely things have gone a little bit sideways.
It's technology, so there's always
yeah, for sure. But when you actually upload all your content to a platform like Later, design the feed, upload all your captions, when you batch it like that and schedule it, then you're done for the month, right? Yay. And then you can get on to working on your other admin things until it's your next scheduled time in your month to start working on creating your content strategy again. So
I will say, something to keep in mind, just a tip as well too, for generating images. If a good opportunity to really start thinking about how you can structure getting your own images. So taking images in the spa, behind the scenes, befores and afters, and you want to make sure that you're including, we call them user-generated content. You want to make sure that you're including those in your feed design as well too, so that you avoid using stock photos.
Yeah. So big, like, don't use all stock photos in your feed. It's
okay. Yeah.
A little bit's okay, but when you have all stock photography, it's disconnecting from your brand and the personalization. Like, people can't see behind the image. Who is this company? What are they about? And so it honestly, and we've noticed too, like, if we've had clients in the past where they weren't submitting their own content to us because we need a certain amount.
Mm-hmm.
And we had to rely on stock images, and client was fine with that. But we absolutely saw a difference in our analytics at the end of the month. They just did not perform the same as before and afters, or a quick team candid pic, or even that humanized content where you've got one of your products in your hand, like no faces showing, just a hand holding a bottle of cleanser. Those perform better than stock photos. So, but stock photos kind of open up the feed and give it a nice and a certain look to it as well. So just don't want to use too many of those.
Yeah.
All right, so we don't want to keep you guys too long. We wanted it fairly short and
To
sweet.
get to.
But it's hard for us to keep it short and sweet with spa marketing because there's just, there's a lot to it. Yet we want to try to simplify this whole process for you, because you got a lot on your plate, dear spa owner. We totally get that. And so, social media is not, it's kind of non-negotiable. You do need your brand on social media and to be visible and consistent on social media. So here we gave you a system to get started on. So maybe bookmark this and come back to it with pen and paper and take some notes so that you can create your own social media posting schedule and system for this to be way easier for you and to cut that overwhelm.
And really, it should take, maybe it might take you a little bit longer to begin with, but, you can likely get your strategy within a couple of hours done between your feed and your strategy.
Yeah. And, don't feel like you have to batch it all in one sitting. Like
Exactly.
each one of these points, we had 3 points, make that each one of those points a sitting if you want to, and batch those 3 points out. So, all right. Thank you for joining us for Spa Marketing with Delia. Delia, thanks for joining us today. And we will have you on next month for another topic. What have we got? Next month on March 18th, Delia will be back. And we're going to be she's going to be talking about how to simplify your spa marketing by repurposing your content. So that's called working smarter, not harder. We want to do that as much as possible. All right, folks, thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time on Spa Business Mastery Podcast.